What if the night could take your breath and never give it back? It started with silence, not the peaceful kind. Not frogs in the reeds or the whisper of the wind across Lake Nyos. This was wrong, thick, heavy, like the world itself was holding its breath. The people of Nyos had gone to bed early that night, August 21st, 1986. By midnight, things began to drop, quietly. Cattle in their pastures fell as if sleep had pulled them down like a tide. Chickens slumped from their perches. Dogs gave one last whimper, then silence again. And then the people. No cries. No chaos. Just stillness. What would you do if you were the only one left breathing? Dawn broke like any other day, except it didn't. Joseph Nkwene woke in pain. His head throbbed. Breathing hurt. Every breath felt wrong. He tried to speak. Nothing came. He looked around and the horror began to unfold. His family lay frozen in their beds, eyes open, not asleep, gone. Staggering outside, he found his village littered with lifeless bodies. Neighbors, friends, even animals collapsed where they had been standing. Some mid-stride, some mid-meal, as if time had stopped, but only for them. And it was not just Lower Nyos. Nearby villages, Cha, Kam, Subum, were all silent. Entire communities erased in hours. Radios crackled with disbelief. One reporter described it as a neutron bomb, but without the blast. Emergency teams arrived to a landscape frozen in tragedy. 1,700 lives lost. More than 3,500 livestock. And not a single obvious cause. No wounds, no disease. The dead looked peaceful, as if they had simply drifted away. And no one could say why. What if the lake itself had been holding its breath until it couldn't anymore? Days later, limnologist Dr. Halldor Sigurdsson arrived at Lake Nyos. He wasn't expecting spirits or curses. But what he did find was every bit as chilling. The lake water shimmered strangely, not from heat or wind, but with a faint, steady bubbling. Measuring instruments went haywire. At a certain depth, the team discovered something alarming, a clear boundary in the water. Warm water on top, cold, dense, gas-saturated water below. Two lakes, stacked like glass sheets. Along the shore, dead fish lined the banks in silence. But the grass, the trees, perfectly green, alive. Whatever had happened had been selective. Humans and animals gone. Nature untouched. Air samples confirmed the suspicion, carbon dioxide. Off the charts. It was as if the lake had exhaled death. The killer was silent, invisible, and older than anyone realized. The truth took weeks to piece together. Beneath Lake Nyos, a magma chamber had been leaking carbon dioxide into the lake for decades. Cold, deep water trapped it, layer by layer, like a bottle of soda left sealed, shaken, and stored. But lakes are not meant to hold their breath forever. At some point, maybe a landslide, maybe a rainstorm, something disturbed the balance. The gas-rich water rose. Pressure dropped. The carbon dioxide exploded out of the lake in what scientists now call a limnic eruption. A massive, invisible cloud of carbon dioxide surged over the valley, cold, heavy, and silent. It raced downhill, hugging the ground, displacing every molecule of oxygen. People did not die because the gas was toxic. They died because there was no air left to breathe. Joseph Nkwene was one of the rare survivors. He lived because he had been slightly uphill. What he remembers is as haunting as the science behind it. I could not speak. I became unconscious. I could not open my mouth because I smelled something terrible. I heard my daughter snoring in a terrible way, very abnormal. When I crossed to my daughter's bed, I collapsed and fell. I was there till 9 o'clock in the morning. I was surprised to see that my trousers were red, had some stains like honey. My arms had some wounds. I didn't really know how I got them. I wanted to speak. My breath would not come out. My daughter was already dead. I walked through Nyos. I didn't see any sign of any living thing. Lake Nyos reminded the world, death does not always come with thunder or fire. Sometimes it comes as a whisper, as a sigh, as air that no longer lets you live. Since the disaster, degassing systems have been installed. Long pipes now vent carbon dioxide from the depths to the surface in controlled bursts. And scientists have turned their gaze to other lakes with similar risks, like Lake Kivu on the border of Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Watching, measuring, preparing. If you enjoy content that informs, inspires, and digs deeper into the stories that matter, hit that subscribe button and stay connected with Zeal News Africa.